This is a very large company, Victor. We have investments everywhere. I gave you your job. I gave you your name. And you've achieved nothing.
There was an accident, Victor. We weren't sure you were going to make it. My team and I, we worked to put you back together. Your brain is your own, but the rest of you, well, we did the best we could, Victor. We did the very best we could.
Build something.
He can think. He's his own person with his own mind. He has a right to that. He has a right. No one has ever done anything like this.
I started comics just like a lot of people. I started drawing as a kid and never grew out of it. Drawing's not really why I do comics. I do comics because I try to tell stories. I try to come up with good stories, and learning how to make comic books, how to draw comic books and panels, and how to use Photoshop and make lettering and dialogue balloons and stuff like that was all sort of incidental. Well, Westward number 1 and 2 sold out right away because I only have the money to print so many at a time. I don't have a publisher or anything like that. It's just me, just one guy. So Westward Volume 1 was conceived as a way to bring new readers on board from the beginning of the story.
I've been a comic book fan for a really, really long time, and I like the idea of independent comic books, and I really like the idea of doing a steampunk book.
But I wanted to branch out a little bit and have a little bit more freedom when it came to the costumes and the devices and the characters and stuff. So I started to sort of take a look at the steampunk genre and see what that had to offer.
I personally really enjoy the steampunk aesthetic, imagination, the imaginative future where you can pretty much make anything, you can create anything, you can do anything.
I think that it's a timeless thing that you could do in anything. Someone 20 years from now could read the book and think that it still relates to the time period just because it's so interesting and it's so ageless.
The Victorian, era, that feel of sort of the majestic and the very proper, and yet you mix it with mechanical elements and things like that.
I think people like being something they're not during the day. I think they like to express themselves in very interesting ways, and I think it's pretty cool.
It's the combined effort of a lot of different people, a lot of different actors, and people who help out in a lot of different ways.
What does it mean to be a prop coordinator? I've helped make some of the props. I've made goggles, some bracers, and some various artifacts, accoutrements that are used in the book. Ken uses them for reference to make sure that things are consistent throughout the book. So I've helped create Penny's bracer, and I've done some goggle work for him as well.
I know this is gonna sound kind of self-absorbed, but Penelope definitely has to be my favorite character. I love playing her. I love being an aspect of the book. I am dying to know how Victor is going to learn about himself, because right now he is so clueless.
I think Victor West, which would be one of the main characters, is kind of shallow, sort of like dim-witted ditzy, I suppose, but good-hearted person.
The character Annabelle West, she's my mom in the book. She's very uptight, she's very proper, she's the owner of this big business, and all she wants is for Victor not to be a screw-up, and that's all he is to the company. So she kind of has this look upon him as, you're not good enough, but we want you to be good enough. So she really, really struggles with him and throughout the book.
You're not going to get bored if you get it. It's a good story. It's got interesting characters. You know, I want to see what he does with the next issue.
Tell me about Ken. What is his personality like?
Tell you about Ken. Where do I even start?
How did I meet Ken Krekeler? I'm Ken's boss at work. So when he approached me about being in his graphic novel, actually I thought it would be a great idea. And I've had a lot of fun so far.
He bought me a beer and then told me about it, and by that time I think I had like maybe 5 or 6 beers and a couple shots of Jaeger, so I didn't even know what I was getting into, but I just said yes anyway.
Ken he always looks kind of agitated. He kind of walked into my office and he said, "Hey, there's this thing and you don't have to do it if you don't want to, but you know, it'd be cool if you did, but you totally don't have to, so don't think you have to do it." That's basically it. He basically just asked me and I said yes.
I honestly don't know why they do it, because they're all very busy people with their own lives, and they take time out of their days and their schedules to dress up in silly costumes and stand in awkward poses, and I gotta believe that they do it because they want to. Because I'm certainly not paying them.
He's probably one of the funniest people I've ever met. He really is out there, and his books really reflect his personality a lot.
Ken kind of lives and breathes this stuff. I think it's the most important thing in Ken's life.
I'd like them to know that Westward isn't just a comic book to the people who are in it. It's something where I get to escape reality and I get to go be who I want to be.
I think Kickstarter is actually a fantastic creation. It allows people that wouldn't be able to do something to reach out and help get support from people that would share that interest. It's a really good balance of give and take for creators as well as contributors.
I think it's great. A lot of my friends use it and they're able to launch projects. I used to be in a lot of bands before. We were always broken. We never had money to release our record, and a lot of records didn't get released because of that. Now people can just ask you to fund it beforehand. I think it's a great service.
Westward to me represents really the independent small comic book artist, especially Ken being basically the writer, artist, the everything of it. It represents to me a chance for that small guy to get his work out there, to be represented, and to get eyes and you know, people reading the book.
We had a lot of fun doing it, and he's worked really hard on it, and you can tell that he loves it.
And it's just a great idea, and anybody willing to sponsor it is just the best person in the world, because this is like the best thing I've ever done.